Thanks for downloading a 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. We need your financial support to keep going. Go to www.3cr.org.au for more information and to donate online. Now stay tuned for your 3CR podcast.
Sabah al-Khair, good morning dear listeners. You're listening to Radio 3CR on 855 AM in Palestine Remembered with Robert Martin, Nasser Mashni and Yusuf Ahmad al-Rimawi. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Australia's only radio program that is totally dedicated to the Palestinian cause in English language. We would like to welcome our listeners on the AM dial and those who will join us later on 3cr.org.au/podcasts. In today's episode, we'll be talking with Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem, a Palestinian academic from Birzeit University, about the American pressure on the Palestinians and the closure of PLO delegation in Washington. Stay with us and enjoy the episode. Morning, Robert.
Good morning, Yusuf. Good morning, listeners, and welcome to Palestine Remembered on 3CR, 855 on the dial, and welcome to those that join us on the podcast. And
Nasser is not with us today.
No, it's a lot quieter.
It's a lot quieter.
It's very quiet.
He will join us next week.
He will indeed, and he'll come back with some fantastic information from the 3-day seminar in Adelaide.
And for this week, Robert, we have our regular guest, Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem, a Palestinian academic and a news analyst. He will talk to us about the PLO office and the closure of the office at Washington. But before that, I guess, Robert, the interview you gave us last week about your, was it 3 weeks you spent? No, more than.
Yeah, almost 5.
5 weeks
almost
in
5.
Palestine. You came back with a collection of recordings, footage, and maybe pictures. What was in your mind that drove you to take all these pictures and recordings, Robert?
I spent a lot of time looking for Palestinians so we could have their voices heard. And I've got some wonderful interviews. One particular gentleman gave me a few. He's an international lawyer and does a lot of great work over there. So we're going to hear about the law, the legal system, the Knesset. And also I've got some everyday Palestinians that I have some of their voices. But I wanted to, you and I were talking before how people should go. And I was talking about how when I left Palestine and I was in Jordan. Now, nothing against the Jordanians, but there's a completely different feel. There's a completely different feel, and it's hard to explain, but I can't stress enough that people should go. Go and visit, immerse yourself in the Palestinian culture, and come back and tell the world, because they need us, and it will change your life for the better as well.
I remember I sent you a text 2 days before you coming from Palestine, and I said, how many days to go? And you said, not enough.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I was actually, I was tired, but I was actually very, very sad. And, in the short time that I was there, I've made friends that'll be lifetime friends. And some people spend a whole lifetime trying to find 1 or 2 friends. And it's a place where I just connect. Beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful people, and let's unite and help them.
You know what came to my mind now that we have had dinner? How did you get away with the gluten-free in Palestine? Well, they don't have a gluten-free culture.
Well, it is. It's only the bread.
Okay.
So all of the magnificent meals that they cooked, it's, there's rice flour in there. It's all vegetables and it's meat. It's clean. It's healthy. It was fantastic. Now, a few people said I'd lost a little bit of weight when I got back, but on the belly line, I'm not so confident about that. It may be the lack of beard and hair that's made it look like that.
And you were there during the olive harvest season.
So we picked olives, which was fantastic.
Tell me about that experience. First time.
Beautiful. I mean, it's hot, Yusuf. And look, let's be honest. I spent a lot of time resting under the trees as well. But it's a time.
Do they have like olive tree picking for beginners?
Of course, and that's where I was.
And do they laugh at you?
But there's people that go each year. And so it's wonderful to hang out with the activists, the local community, the younger people, the children, doing it with their parents. It's a very uniting, peaceful job. It's not that hard. I mean, if you're doing it every day, it would be.
Where was that? Do you remember the name of the town or village, or near maybe one of the cities, maybe in Nablus?
So it's about 15 minutes out of Bethlehem.
Well, Palestine olive, I rang my mother the other day in Jordan, and we have an olive tree, and she managed to extract 30 kilograms of oil.
Fantastic.
Of olives. How good is that?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
From one tree.
That's good.
So we will be back shortly, and we will be talking with Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem from Birzeit University. But
I went to Birzeit University. I spent some time there.
In less than half a minute, tell me something about it.
I went and saw a speak. Miko Peled did a speak to some students that are doing human rights, and I spoke to a number of the students. It was fantastic. A lot of them knew who I was and wanted to do an interview, but wouldn't do an interview because of the fear of reprimands and so forth. But it was a fantastic experience.
Well, Birzeit University, we pride ourselves with education in general, and with our tertiary education in particular, Birzeit University and the Najah University. So well done, everybody who works or studies there. And we will be back shortly with Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem. So stay with us. Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem is the director of the Palestinian and Arabic Studies program at Birzeit University in Palestine, and a news analyst, and he will be our guest for this episode. Stay with us. Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem, thanks for being with us again on the show.
Thank you for having me again. Thank you.
Dr. Ahmad, as we speak, we have unprecedented crisis with the Americans, with the refusal to renew the license of PLO delegation office in Washington, and the rumors around it. What we know is the Americans want to bring the Palestinians to a negotiation table, and also to convince the Palestinian leadership to refrain from going to the International Court of Justice. But we want to ask you about the context. How do you read this development, Dr. Ahmed?
Yeah, actually, firstly, it is not really very new. It is not the first time. From time to time, the issue of the office of the PLO in the United States of America is raised. Sometimes, actually, even for some administrative and financial matters. I remember a few years ago that there were some news about maybe closing the office for some administrative reasons. This time, let me say, in the context have two dimensions. The first dimension is related to the pro-Israeli groups. The pro-Israeli groups
within the American
Israeli lobby in the
within the American administration
is actually prepared years ago a kind of bank of goals. This bank of goals have many conditions and many legislations, also imagining what can happen in the future and how we can stop the Palestinians in the future from getting their rights, from defending their cause in the international organizations and international courts. So there are not only one legislation, there are many legislations that make conditions on the Palestinians. So financial aid from the United States cannot reach if the Palestinians do something, the same thing happening regarding this time the office. There is a legislation years ago prepared by the pro-Israeli groups about the PLO going, or the Palestinians going to the international court or to any other organizations.
Why
this
is
the
this?
first?
What?
This is the first dimension. Yeah.
But why aren't the Palestinians allowed to go to the International Criminal Court? I just am stuck on this bit because I know that it's not unprecedented. But why can't the Palestinians go to the International Criminal Court? What options do they have left?
Yeah, okay. Actually, why they cannot go? Because firstly, the first part of the answer is that the Americans in general, they don't believe, the American administration, they don't believe in international organizations, especially this administration, Trump administration. You see, Trump is actually withdrawing from several international agreements and other frameworks. So the whole formula of the Palestinian-Israeli negotiations prepared by the Israelis and supported by the American administrations, not only this administration, that it is only by only two parts negotiations. We have negotiations only between the Israelis and the Palestinians. International community has nothing to do with these negotiations. Even the Americans, they don't intervene really in negotiations. So they want the formula to be only Palestinians and Israelis and nothing else. So Palestinians should not not ask for any other international framework. This is maybe the first part of the answer. The second part, actually, the Palestinians until this moment, they didn't really went to the international court, and this is even many Palestinians don't recognize or understand this. The Palestinians until now, they just send information. So there is a kind of procedures that we need Palestinians to proceed with, so we can go to the international courts. And this is for political reasons, because actually it seems the American and international pressure on the Palestinians made the Palestinian leadership not going to the court. But I want to complete the answer of the first question, actually, on why the issue of the office is happening now. Actually, because it seems in the Arab world and among Palestinians, many people use a term about it is the century deal. In Arabic, I don't know, they call it صفقة القرن, or this is a concept started to be circulated after it was used by the American President Trump a few months ago. So many people think that what is happening now, it is pressuring the Palestinians to accept certain peace plan that the Americans are presenting. Actually, it is completely the opposite. What is happening now, that the American team for peace reached a conclusion, or it is maybe not even reached a conclusion. They have a decision that we will not have a political agreement or a political settlement now between the Palestinians and the Israelis. The Israelis refused this, and we don't want to pressure the Israelis too much. We don't want to pressure them. So the Palestinians should accept the status quo. So I think what is happening now is telling the Palestinians, you have to coexist with the present situation. No agreement will happen. No political settlement will happen. You should not go to the international courts or to the United Nations. You should not try to use to communicate with Arab regimes and governments in order so they can pressure the Israelis or pressure anybody in the world to mobilize, even to start the negotiations again. You have to coexist with status quo. We will enhance the quality of life little a bit inside Gaza and the West Bank. Maybe we will have you some facilitation. We will facilitate some things like, for example, making crossing the border a little bit easier. Maybe we will have some economic projects, but don't expect much more. And if you are expecting more, and if you are trying to mobilize the United Nations or any other international frameworks, you will be punished by things like closing the office and maybe by ignoring you. Actually, one of the most powerful tools the United States and other countries who support the Israeli government use with the Palestinian leadership in the recent years is ignoring. If you are ignoring the Palestinian leadership has everything. It only concentrates on negotiations and on diplomacy. So if you are ignoring them, there is no negotiation, no diplomacy, and this will harm them a lot among the Palestinians.
But in light of what you said, Dr. Ahmad, that the Americans don't want to go ahead with negotiations or a peace plan with the Palestinians, and they expect us to accept the status quo, including accepting occupation and coexisting with occupation. They know that it's not going to happen, because they know that even if the Palestinian leadership decides to basically take that pressure and accept it, that the Palestinian population will not. So let's now go to the Palestinian side of the story and put aside the Americans. What do you think, what do you predict our next move is in light of what you said?
Actually, the Palestinian leadership, maybe as I mentioned, its concentration is diplomacy and negotiations. But this doesn't mean at all that Palestinian President Abbas is going to accept any offer will be offered. I think he has a minimum demands, and that he will not go below that demands. The Palestinians cannot give any other concessions. So I think if the Americans proceeded with their moves, the Palestinians will maybe try to go to other frameworks. Now it is not only Palestinians. Actually, look at Canada and other countries in North America. When the United States stopped its trade agreements with in North America, they went to Europe and other places to find alternative. So Palestinians will go to other places to find alternatives, and it will not be easy for the Israelis and the Americans when the Palestinians start to go for other arenas. I think if the office is closed in Washington, the Palestinians at that moment, they can proceed with the International Criminal Court. They can proceed with other international organizations. So I don't think it is a type of pressure. They trying to see how much the Palestinians can accept this pressure. But this doesn't mean at all that the Palestinians have no cards or the Palestinians have no alternatives.
Now, I also want to ask about pressure coming from the Arab countries, and some of them are allies of the Palestinians, like, for example, the Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia and Emirates. Do you agree with the maybe rumors or news that the Arabs are also putting pressures on the Palestinians?
I think there will be a pressure, but pressure for what? Until this moment, the Americans, they didn't give any plan. There is no clear demand. So maybe I am naming what is happening now like an preemptive punishment or preventative punishment. So they are trying to do something to punish you for something will happen in the future. They say if you don't engage in serious negotiations, and if you don't go to accept the offers we will punish you. So offer us something first, let us negotiate first and go for it. So I think the Arab countries maybe can make some pressure, but here I want to say something very important. The Arab countries and even the United States of America, they are offering less and less financial aids to the Palestinians. What does this mean? This means that if you are giving less, you have less power to pressure us. And also, everybody knows that if the Palestinian Authority of the PLO decided to leave the agreements, until this moment, they accept the agreements. Nevertheless, the Israelis don't recognize their parts of such agreements. If the Palestinians decided to turn the table, if they decided to change the course, it will be very harmful for everybody. So Palestinians are not weak as maybe some people think. The Arab pressure, maybe will be an Arab pressure, but it is not really a concrete one, because there is no concrete demands from the Americans. And the Arabs know from the past that Palestinians never accepted something they think it is below their national interest. Yasser Arafat in the past used to have a very famous say. He used to say, "I have the pen," which means only I am the only person who can sign a piece, something. It's me. I am who decided. He used to say, "I am the difficult number in the formula."
What's your thoughts on the potential reconciliation? Have you optimistic?
Let me say now, maybe in the street, many people have less optimism comparing with a few weeks ago. Life in Gaza is not changing really, but
it's getting worse.
We have no choice but to proceed with this reconciliation. And I think the question is how fast or how slow we are advancing in the reconciliation. But in general, I think we will have better situation soon.
Dr. Ahmad, I want to bring you to Australia. Now here our government is from the Liberal Party, which hosted Netanyahu last February and considered very pro-Israeli. Doesn't mean that the Labour government was less of pro-Israeli than the Liberals, but however, as we speak, there is a momentum within the Labour to recognize Palestine in their next year convention. Now, this might bring us back to one of the cards that the Palestinians have, which is internationalizing the Palestinian-Israeli issue and bringing it to the United Nations. Where do you see endeavors in a country like Australia to recognize Palestine as a state? How important is that?
I think, this is what you are saying is exactly that Palestinians have alternatives. They have cards to play. They can go to other countries, and this will gradually make the situation in Israel difficult. For the moment, such recognition by parties or even by countries has no immediate results on the ground. They have no immediate effects, but the Israelis know that in the future this can be transformed to something tangible, that can be transformed to something against the Israelis. Because if you are recognizing a country, then you have a duty in the United Nations, then you have something to do to protect the peace in the world, to oppose something against the international law like occupation.
Now, Dr. Ahmad, we have 3 minutes to end the interview, but I want to ask you about a different topic. You were part of the launching of a book last week, Tobacco and Olives, by Tabgh wa Zaytoun, by Mr. Mu'in Al-Tahir. I wanted to share some of your thoughts about this book and how it came to see light, and basically, excuse me, some of your personal reflections being the host of the launching of that important book.
Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you for a very interesting question. Actually, also yesterday evening, I was here in Amman, part of another similar occasion, recognizing Dr. Salma Khadr al-Jayyusi, a very famous Palestinian poet and writer. She is in her 92 years old, and we gathered.
I saw the Facebook Live. Yes, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, it was very interesting that we are telling the world that we have our own culture, we have our own heritage, we can have our own determination. Mr. Mu'in Al-Tahir, he was a freedom fighter, and he was part of Palestinian resistance, and he provided in this book his experience. It was very interesting, even maybe what happened after the
launch,
the event, more interesting than the event itself, when almost 20 young women and young men came and said, we are very happy with such book, we need to know more and more about the past. We think the past is not without mistakes, but we have a very glorious past, and we will continue. We will have a kind of cultural resistance, peaceful civil resistance, and we will continue. We are a people with identity, with determination, and we can continue for a very long time, and we will not capitulate any time.
Well, hopefully one day we will see this book and other Palestinian memoirs and books translated into English and other international languages. Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem, Palestinian academic from Birzeit University and a news analyst, thank you very much for being with us on Palestine Remembered, sir.
Thank you both.
With this, we have come to the end of this week's episode of Palestine Remembered. We spoke with Dr. Ahmad Jamil Azem, a Palestinian academic from Birzeit University. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Palestine Remembered, and remember to tune in next Saturday, same time, 9:30 in the morning. Until then, until the end of the episode, I will leave you with a dialogue between violin and oud by Anwar Hariri and Nazih Abu Rish. And until we meet next week, this is Robert Martin Nasser Mashni and Yusuf Ahmed Al-Rimawi wishing you the best of time and salam.